you, Charles.
Yeah.
We are live. We're live, everybody. Come on in. We see you out there. We know you're there.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
17th of March, folks, 2024. It's time for the Sunday Funnies. And
Listen to the Chieftains today.
To the Chieftains? What?
Yeah.
Chieftains.
Who what?
The Irish folk group.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
The best.
I thought there was going to be a big announcement or something.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Hang on, folks. We're going to run the opening. Yeah, we might run this first.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
Gonna have to update that opening, I think.
Why?
Come on in, folks. We see you there. We're going to take a look at ALMURIC. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman, editor-in-chief, Arrow Comics, arrowcomics.store. I've got a bunch of stuff over there that I have done. I've been in this business for many decades, and I've done many things, majority of which was with Arrow Comics, but a lot of other folks as well. So go over there and check it out. Also joining me today is Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK, currently working or currently campaigning to sell you a copy of The Shadow Kingdom by Robert E. Howard, adapted by the fantastic Randy Zimmerman for Arrow Comics. I've been around the block a little, done some Batman, done some Doctor Who, some stuff for Warner Brothers, Marvel stuff, all kinds of stuff. Got my own books, Only Death Can Save Us. Third part will be coming out this year. You can find out all about me, all about Only Death Can Save Us, my work and everything else. You can connect with my social medias and also find out about The Shadow Kingdom on funmycomic.com over at russleach.com. All the connections are there.
Legendary artist, Russ Leach.
Legendary.
Legendary in my own lunchtime.
Yeah, the wife tells me I'm a legend in my own mind. Yeah. Also joining us, Mr. Charles Santino. Charles, introduce yourself.
Yes. Charles Santino. I've been doing it since the late 80s. Still trying to get it right. Started with Marvel, a little character by Robert E. Howard called Conan. Obscure little book. And been trying to top that ever since.
Now here's a legend.
There's a legend. Yeah.
Behind me, you see my comic Rammer. First issue is out. It is on Amazon. He is a master thief in a future police state. Second issue will be out this month. Pre-order right now on Amazon. That cover is an homage to an old Magnus robot fighter cover. Homage is French for ripoff. And that's that.
Okay. Also joining us this morning is Rex. Rex, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm creator of Devil Flyer, now on Fun My Comic, and I am here for the food.
That's right. There are refreshments in the back, folks, if you can find them. Back of the hall. Come on in. There's chairs still here in front. Come on in. Today we're looking at ALMURIC.
I remember him. He was my tailor.
There you are. ALMURIC. Yeah. Printed by Dark Horse in, what is that, 1990?
Oh, 1990. I thought it was 1991.
1991. The artwork's copyright 1991.
So this was printed in Epic Comics originally in floppy form, and then
Yes.
and then they put it in this graphic novel.
Well, Dark Horse got the Howard license, and this was included in it. So they put it all together into a book. Retail price a whopping $10.95.
Wow.
So, yep. Very pretty paper, very great artwork by Tim Conrad. Robert E. Howard, science fantasy, really novel, the only one he ever did. And actually, he didn't even complete it. It was in pieces when they put it together and printed it after he had passed. So.
He only wrote 2 novels, as far as I know.
Is this
the
an
other
Conan
one was
novel?
the other one was a Conan novel, and about 1 million short stories.
Yeah. From what I understand, this comes from a first draft and a rough outline that they completed the novel on, and this is off of the novel.
The novel is a pretty good read.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a better person to kind of put all the pieces together than Roy Thomas.
Yeah.
I like the colors on this.
The colors are lovely, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
It starts out in black and white, just like Wizard of Oz.
His face is a bit wacky.
Yeah, I mean, his head looks a little, I don't know, big. I don't know.
Yeah, a bit square.
Charles was telling us off the air he started off as an inker for Barry Windsor Smith.
Yeah, doing another Robert E. Howard character, Branmock Morn. So the first bunch of pages, and if you got to go find them, they're unbelievable. It was in I think it was in Savage Sword.
Savage Sword.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and so Conrad inked the first, I don't know, 10 pages or so over Barry Smith, all black and white and gray tones, and then the rest of the story Conrad drew and inked himself also in black and white.
Wow.
I seem to remember reading Worms of the Earth
adaptation. That's it. Yeah.
Conrad
remember
did.
that.
That's
That was just amazing. Yeah.
Now, was
I had
that the
that
Marvel
Savage Sword.
masterpiece in comic form? Or okay, it was
serialized in Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah, it was.
In the back, yeah. Because
I remember having that as a kid.
Okay.
I
They also adapted that early on in the mid 70s in the thrillers that had the living mummy in there, but it was like number 2 or something, the Worm story.
Oh, the Worms of Earth. Maybe there's a couple of different worm stories. I always get it mixed up because Bram Stoker wrote Lair of the White Worm. That's been adapted a couple of times. I don't know how they would safely adapt this to code-approved comics. I mean, Worms of the Earth, because it's pretty adult.
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, you got Branmock Morn up on a cross and gets... oh, no, it's one of his men. One of Brand's men is up on a cross and gets run through by a Roman centurion. It's pretty grim.
It's pretty graphic. He goes out for revenge against the Romans and ends up finding an old witch that could do it. Exact revenge.
Yeah, Robert E. Howard had a thing. He had a bee in his bonnet about Rome.
Yeah. Did a lot of picks stuff. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm just looking through some of it here on Google, and it's like
Worms of the Earth.
Yeah, I'm being transported back to being a small boy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like with this whole comics code and everything.
Yeah.
I was young when I was buying Savage Sword of Conan.
Oh yeah.
I was just a kid, and I was loving everything about it. It was fantastic.
That was part of the fun of those old black and white magazines, man. You gotta.
I didn't turn into some nut job that goes and kills pets and then moves on to people. And
maybe not one that kills.
So you say,
yeah. Causes wars or whatever. It's like it's the people. It's within you. If you're going to be like that, you're going to be like that. You know.
Yeah.
Oh God, just seen a picture of the front cover, the one where he's kind of like killed something that looks a little bit like a pterodactyl.
You're talking ALMURIC? Yeah, we'll get there. It's all in
no,
here.
no. This is a Savage Sword of Conan. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I'm geeking out about
Yeah.
Conan again.
Devil Flyer, it's big in the chat. Hit that thumbs up, folks. Hit that thumbs
He's
up.
big in
please.
Japan. I heard.
Big in Japan, yes. Levi also in the house. Levi, good morning. How many
Yay,
people
Levi.
get that sword and planets as a tattoo, I wonder?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a cracking tattoo, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That would be awesome, yeah.
It reminds me
Now
a
the
little bit of this-
the book that I was referring to was Supernatural Thrillers #3, featuring The Valley of the Worm, adapted from Robert E. Howard.
Different story, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Is it?
not
Okay.
Bran. Yeah, not Bran Mockmorn. We should also mention that this comic we're looking at is heavily influenced by Edgar Rice Burroughs and John Carter.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
It's
very much so, yeah.
basically the same story.
Well, this is why they never he never finished it, I would imagine, that in time. He had a very sick mom that he ended up killing himself over after she passed. Howard did.
Yeah, within a day, I think.
Yeah, well, he went from the hospital to his car.
Hey, Levi.
And yep. But anyway, he is like Burroughs here. Howard is in that once he passed, everybody really started looking at his stuff and loving it. And he was more popular after they passed than when they were alive. Burroughs maybe not, but Howard definitely. And they went back into his old belongings and they find a trunk filled with drafts, outlines, notes, story ideas, and all of that they've worked off of ever since. And this is kind of where they found ALMURIC.
Yeah, for the novice, we should mention that Edgar Rice Burroughs got really popular with the Frazetta paperback covers in the early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And then Conan paperbacks, and that was also Frazetta covers. And then the comic book, 1970, Barry Smith art. And that's when Conan really just took off. And so Robert E. Howard basically owned the 70s.
Yeah.
But
there were, from the way I understand it, there were 2 times that Roy Thomas literally saved Marvel. And that was when he brought them Conan and insisted that they print it. And he brought them Star Wars and insisted that they print it. And they all thought he was crazy.
Yeah, Star Wars really saved them. They pulled them out of the fire because they were in really, really bad shape.
Pulled them out of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Yep. They were heading that way. But then they printed Star Wars in every possible format imaginable. Literally.
Yeah. Big Treasury edition.
Digests. Yeah.
Is this any akin? I mean, is it similar to Killraven?
No.
Well, Killraven has Killraven takes place on Earth, and Killraven, it was heavily influenced, Roy Thomas, heavily influenced by Planet Stories, a serial called The Lost World, which is in the public domain. And if you go take a look at that, you go, oh, it's Killraven. That's where Killraven came from. So it's similar in that you've got swords and all kinds of weirdness, but
invasion.
But this takes place on another planet. This story we're looking at, but Killraven takes place on Earth after is it a Martian invasion?
Yeah. Or at least the Martians, as they were called from the H.G. Wells.
It's almost like Thundar the Barbarian, a dystopian future, right?
Yeah. Yep. Killraven is. ALMURIC, on the other hand, is very close to John Carter. The guy gets transported to a distant alien planet that he, decides to start fighting back.
Show them what humans can do, right?
Exactly. Yep. Only he's not enhanced like John Carter is.
Oh, wow. That's bonkers art.
Wow, that's transition from that color page to this.
Yeah. Well, the scenes on Earth are in black and white on purpose, kind of like Wizard of Oz.
I like
Once it
it.
gets
I like
transported, things go into color.
You
And-
turn
and
the
here's-
page, you're not expecting that.
Here's some
Yeah.
irony. Robert E. Howard Cull Wrightson wanted to do a panel in black and white in a Cull story, and Marvel said no, because people will think that something was wrong with the with the printing.
Yeah.
And here, just a few years later, is Marvel doing black and white in a color story.
Yeah.
So apparently they realized that you could do that. Nobody's going to be confused.
Well, it's not really black and white. There's a lot of light blue in here. A lot of gray tone.
That's
You
true.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it's you got 2 pages of it instead of just one page.
I think there's more. Yeah.
More than that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. It's almost got a sepia thing going there too.
Yeah.
Hey, Bone.
Yeah, that lower left, that's I'm seeing like a greenish gray lower left.
Down here.
Yeah, the brown, green, that panel, the second panel lower left.
It's kind of sepia. Yeah, it might be the camera
Yeah, it's not
screwing around. Yeah.
not 100% black and white, but it's sure not color.
Yep. Bone in the house says good morning. Good morning, Bone. Thanks for joining us.
I like this art.
To me, it looks a lot like Corbin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I never made that connection. And
Richard
a little
Corbin.
Galassi.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see Galassi in this too, with the start shadows here. Great work. That's somebody we need to take a closer look at. Some of those early Master of Kung Fu's. Well, what the hell? Karen's gone, but where? That's a nice shot there.
I need this book in my life.
That
This
really
is
works well.
This is good stuff.
That's really screaming Corbin to me here. Beautiful. He
Always
gets
the mad
teleported.
scientist.
Always. I'm ready, Professor. In God's name, hurry. Actually, I'm not quite sure myself, gentlemen. At this point, he could be a bunch of random atoms scattered from here to the farthest galaxy, or he could be standing alone and unarmed on a wild, primitive planet, which should suit him far better than this one, should he survive it.
You know, I'm looking on eBay. This book is not cheap.
By the by,
Yeah.
he made me teleport him there. Don't you know? Threaten me and all that. You do believe me, don't you? After all, I'm only a poor old man living here all alone with boxes of documents next to my Corvette. Yeah, anyway.
I like the negative, the
Yeah.
reversal of the negative. Yeah.
Yeah, that works incredibly well. Love it.
Mhm.
See where he went. Boom.
Man, look at that.
Well, that's
Love that.
crazy.
Yeah, I love that it's a real page turner.
Yeah. And you'll have to forgive the condition of this book. It's been through quite a little bit. So I think I had it stored in my shed for quite a few years.
How dare you?
Got a little moisture to it. Yeah. But
Create
it's still
great
good
art.
reading. Yeah.
Great art like that.
Great art, great story.
Yeah.
Well, at the time it couldn't be helped.
I like the beefiness of his figures, really.
Yeah.
I like it. It has that old pulp feel too.
Mm-hmm.
Just his faces and everything.
Yeah.
And nice production value. Look at that. The background, the way it's printed.
That turned out really good. Birds
Nothing
back
to
here.
see here, folks. Move along.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot going on there. I love it.
Yeah, if you're looking to buy this, do not be fooled by the similar looking Iron Hand of ALMURIC.
Okay.
That was a sequel.
Also published by Dark Horse.
Yep, but I don't think Conrad did the artwork on that.
It looks like maybe the cover.
Yeah,
Maybe
yep,
he did
he
the
did
cover. But there's only 2 copies of this on eBay right now. One of them is $70, and it's not in great condition, and the other one is $45. It's only 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think it had a huge print run.
Probably not. I mean, I've never seen it as far as I know.
I remember seeing it in Epic.
Yeah, it would probably be cheaper
fan
just to buy. It would be cheaper just to buy those 4 issues of Epic, and you get all the other stuff too.
The problem with that is you know, tracking it down, knowing what issues it was. I guess you could do
2 through 5.
Yeah, 2 through 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, those are not expensive. I don't think.
There's 17 pages per episode or per issue in that in Epic. It was planned to be a 4-issue miniseries, but they loved the artwork so much. Epic was starting up and was being printed on such better paper.
Did they recolor this?
Oh no.
For the graphic novel, you think?
I don't think so.
No.
This looks painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's painted.
The reproduction might look a little different, but it's the same colored art.
Yeah.
I think this is back when long before Photoshop or digital work too. So
yeah, here's a copy of
probably
2. There are lots of copies of 2 on eBay, lots, and they're not expensive. So I'm assuming 3, 4, and 5 are probably not expensive either.
Yeah.
So that may be the way to go. You get all the other great stuff. But 2 has an incredible Corbin cover.
1's got a Frazetta cover.
Yeah.
2 is Corbin. I'm trying to think who
was this character, this story ever featured on one of the covers?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm looking at 2 and 3, and not on 2 or 3.
Great thing about buying the old floppies is if you're not bothered by the condition, if you're literally just buying them as reading copies, you can pick up stuff really cheap.
Oh, yeah, I think these are not expensive even in decent condition.
Yeah.
Except for maybe number 1, but this story is not in number 1. So I'm looking at 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's not on the cover of any of them.
Yeah.
I have an Epic number 1, but I think it has a detached cover.
Yeah.
I literally just went out to eBay and picked myself up a copy of issue 16 of Savage Sword of Conan with
good for you.
With the worms in it.
That is
now.
I've literally just done it.
Yeah.
It's some of the best stuff Barry Smith ever did.
I remember it from when I was a kid, and then I look back through the artwork, and it kind of like it was like, oh my god, yes. So I had to buy it.
That opening double page splash with that bird's eye view is incredible.
Just amazing.
I just remember being in awe of the artwork
anyway,
on that story, and the story being a little disturbing.
You can pick up some amazing books out there. I'd missed out on an auction the other day. It was like somebody picked it up for £60. So what, about $80? And it was like I think it was about 52 comics. Wow. And there were 30 Spider-Man comics with Captain Britain in, and I missed out because English, I was it was in the UK,
the English editions,
and there was a bunch of Spider-Man stuff, and I missed out on it. I'd have paid £100, and so I'd have won the auction, but I just had other things to do, and I missed out, so I was a bit gutted about that. But yeah, you can pick up some great books.
Did you have a bid, but you just weren't there at the end?
I just wasn't there. I didn't bid at all. I found out about the auction the night before, but I was away during the day, and I couldn't do it. And what I was going to do was put a bid on and say, right, that's how much I'm prepared to pay for it, and just stick it in and walk away. But you know what life's like.
Sarah in the house. Sarah, good morning. Morning. Hope you're doing well. We're looking at ALMURIC by Roy Thomas and Tim Conrad. So it's a collection
it's
printed
great
by Dark
stuff,
Horse,
man.
originally printed by Marvel. Yeah.
I was not expecting this from the cover. The cover's really kind of plain. You know, it's nice, but it's, and then you open it up and it's like, bam,
Yeah.
you know, really good stuff.
Lots of fun. Stranger in a Strange Land story. Ooh. Yeah, that spine just cracked.
Well, that glue does get old.
And it is a reading copy, and it did catch some moisture at one point. So yeah.
Dare you?
Oh, believe me, this isn't something I'm gonna sell. So,
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a great
even though I
illustration.
had $3 marked on it at one time. Anyway,
That guy's
tried to
face.
sell it.
The big panel on that guy's face.
King of the troglodytes.
Nice big brute.
Struggle.
What's this then? An Earthman.
This is really, to me, looks very reminiscent of William Kaluta for some reason. It just has that feel to it. Great feel.
Blam. Russ, how do you handle sound effects?
I like to draw them on the page if I'm going to do them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Cole story we just did, the Shadow Kingdom, we didn't have any sound effects.
No.
Okay.
And that's a specific decision, I think. But when I do draw sound effects, though, like the Only Death Can Save Us stuff, I like to draw it on the page with the art. So I kind of design the art with the sound effect in mind.
Yeah. Like Walt Simonson, he's great at that.
Yeah.
There's several that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Russell that we.
I wouldn't say I'm
at.
like Walt. I would say like Walt does.
Yeah.
With the Cull story, though, sound effects would have just gotten in the way of the
Yeah,
art.
it would
and
have.
I-
No,
yeah.
exactly.
You know, I mean, when you're writing it though, or designing it, you okay, what's the appropriate sound?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's not too hokey, right?
Yeah. If you're going to put it in, make sure it's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have to think about sound in that instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found that sometimes depending on the comic, the wackier the sound effects, the better. I mean, comic book sound effects are kind of wacky just by their nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, something you mentioned about the policy decision on sound effects. It reminded me that when Conan first started, and Roy Thomas mentioned this somewhere in the letters page, that he decided that Conan was not going to have, the story was not going to have any thought balloons.
Oh.
There was never a thought balloon in Roy Thomas's Conan stories.
Wow.
Because it was pretty obvious what Conan was thinking at any given moment.
That's really the big difference between Conan and Cull. I'm trying to write that out now for the intro. In that Conan was very barbarian, just stereotype. Well, he is the start of the big barbarian trope, really. But Cull, on the other hand, was very introspective and very drawn into himself, always questioning his actions, always wondering about the world. So there are thought balloons in the Shadow Kingdom from
very different character.
Very different character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, you can hear that crackle.
What's also interesting to me is that they decided in this series, which was in Epic, which had nudity, that this story would not have nudity.
Well, this story was done initially as a regular comic, like I said, in 17 pages. So I'm sure they were still holding to Code Authority rules at that point.
So that was so Marvel decided after it was drawn to put it in Epic.
After it was done, they looked at it and thought, and Epic was just starting up, and they were looking at this artwork with all of the tones, and they felt the paper that they were printing the regular comic on at the time wouldn't do it justice. So they put it in Epic.
These are painted pieces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one big page looks like it needs to be in the Museum of Modern Art, almost next to a Salvador Dali.
Yeah. Crazy. Let's see how you are against a man.
I love it.
Not just a
Sarah
man.
says
Man's
so
man.
much. Yeah, a man's man. So much stylistic ways of doing the art: circle panels, angled ones, art between and overlapping panels, etc. Mesmerizing. Not the norm, and eye candy for something different sometimes. Back when this was done, there was a lot of experimentation with the sequential art, the panel layouts. You had Neil Adams and Steranko challenging, what actually makes a page. So
Right.
you're
I
seeing
think
some of that here.
Steranko really lit the fuse for a lot of artists.
Ready for the next page?
Yes. So is this a chapter break here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good-
Look at
good
that.
enough.
End of issue
Kicking.
1, start of issue 2. Yeah.
Look at that top panel. Love it.
Mm.
A lot of Corbin in that look.
Yeah. You don't see panel borders like that very often.
I'd like to see this artist do Tarzan.
Yeah. Yeah. Would too. That would be crazy.
I'd prefer to see me do Tarzan.
There you go.
But all that stuff's
I'd like
in
to
the
see a
public
Russ
domain.
Leach Tarzan.
I know.
Absolutely.
We've got a whole list of things.
Yeah. This is
Oh, yeah,
wow. I love what
I
they
would
came
love
up
to do
with
that.
while experimenting. Show raw talent. Yeah, shows raw talent. Could always adapt one of the Jungle Tales. The one of the books, I think it's the third one's a collection of shorts when he was a kid.
It's on the list, mate.
Thought you wanted to do a Western next. Anyway.
Well, that's what I say. It's on the list.
Yeah.
We've got some stories to pump out first. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Man,
Press
they
it
use
well.
slow so you can hear the cracking.
There you go.
Like,
Look at that.
Oh, hell, the page came out. What the
That's
hell?
all right. It's a reading copy.
That hurt.
That is so 70s.
The cracking of the spine, you mean?
No,
Yeah.
I meant the page on the right.
Yeah, I mean that I can see a little Neil Adams influence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Worm's eye view.
It
Not
is.
afraid to
Yeah,
find it either. Yeah,
What a-
he's proud of it.
that's eye candy. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Iron Hand. He's calling out Iron Hand. Now, you said there was another Iron Hand book that was related on eBay?
Yeah.
Sequel. Yeah, the
Sequel.
Iron Hand of
Oh, a
ALMURIC.
sequel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not drawn by him.
No, not drawn by
okay.
Conrad. Written by Thomas, though, I believe. So,
Yeah.
Him and his wife, I think, wrote it together. Can't remember who did the artwork on it. Shall we try next page?
Man, the coloring on this is wonderful.
Yeah. Colors
Yeah.
are fantastic, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. What medium did he work in to do this? Gouache, watercolor, acrylic?
I'm not sure. Honestly, it doesn't look like watercolor.
Could be
Yeah.
inks,
Inks, yeah.
colored
Could be
ink.
Dr. Martin dyes, maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very bright, isn't it?
used very differently. Yeah, it's super bright. And that yellow is real. Yeah.
Well, let's face it, they made a good call. I mean, I know this is Dark Horse, but paper quality and ink saturation makes a big difference on the final product.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, I like how this what you pointed out, this the feathering, the jagged edge.
With the panel border.
Yeah, yeah. Adds an immediacy to it. Or
Really not
gravitas.
afraid to play. Yeah. It's cool.
Good old comic book logic and design.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the slant gutter there with the falling with the figure. Yeah.
Yeah. Look out.
Russ, you must be loving this. This looks like in your wheelhouse. Really.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's
Yeah.
bonkers, isn't it? Love that big bird.
This could be Dr.
Not the one on the right, the one on the left.
Well, I know this was printed in the 80s, the early 80s, but this could have been printed in the Bronze Age too.
Yeah. That feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very early 70s feel to it.
Look at that.
Man, this is a page turner. You never know what you're going to get on the next page.
No.
What is that? Like an insect bat guy or something? I can't even tell what that is.
So I had
With
heard
a-
of horrible winged men, more demon than human.
He's doing a good job of creating an alien landscape as well.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, those trees.
Trees.
They kind of look like mushroom explosions, don't they? Or volcanic eruptions.
It's a cacti. And some of it. Yeah. Yeah, gas.
I mean, what? Dutch angle? Would you call that a Dutch angle?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just like slides you right into the what's going on. God, that's good. It's wonderful.
I have to check to see if.
I know. Yeah. I thought that was abrupt transition there. Man, X panel. How do you read that now? Is that a problem? I mean, from reading right to left?
Not when you're following the lettering. Boom, boom, boom.
I guess.
It
It's just a scene, isn't it? It's just a scene. So
it's a montage.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, French.
But Randy, you're right about the lettering. The lettering tells you where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at that lettering in the middle panel there. I like the graduated color on it too. It's very 70s, 60s, 70s.
that lovely open panel down the right hand corner by your thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
A lot of panels on these 2 pages.
Yeah. Well, they weren't afraid of doing hard multiple panels and a lot of dialogue too.
Now, would this been done? I mean, this is painted. So how big a thing would he have worked on to do a page like this, right? I mean,
it's probably regular comic size.
No,
maybe
I reckon
double.
I reckon he's gone double with this.
Wouldn't have gone much bigger than double.
Look at the drop shadows on those panels top of the page.
Yeah,
they're great.
Are you talking here?
No, the drop shadows on the horizontal. Right. They're those ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Oh, here.
Yeah, I mean, with if you know it's going to be printed in a magazine, do you go larger? I mean, when you look at some of the Golden Age art, it's huge.
Yeah, it's
you can go a little wider on a regular magazine.
Yeah, this is a wider page, isn't it?
Slightly.
Although it's got big margins on right and left.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it may well have originally been done for comic size.
Yeah, it's comic size. It was done for comic. But around this time too, they were playing around with painted comics. So this wasn't really unusual. at
Well, I
that
mean,
point.
he's
You know,
fitting a
Moonshadow
lot
was-
on. He's fitting a lot on these
Okay.
pages.
Yeah, he is. Whole lot.
I don't think it's dialogue heavy, really.
No. But some of the comics from this period, like we've looked at in the past, like with Don McGregor, can get pretty wordy. More text than picture at times. So it's cool when spouses are able to do those kinds of things together. Stay married through it all. Yep. I love the face on the top right of the middle pic. Wicked splash page. I love that creature. Yep. The detail is great. Wow. I would put that character's image on my wall if I could. Amazing. Yep. Wow. Very much eye candy. Guessing the story is just as good. It's about a guy who gets transported to an alien world and then has to fight to survive.
There's a very similar creature in the 9th issue of Conan. Lives in a tower and kidnaps Conan's girlfriend of the moment, and Conan has to rescue her from the tower. And the
Sheldazar.
the character, the character looks very the winged creature looks very much like this.
Kind of like a
You know,
gargoyle
Conan-
or a harpy.
Conan may not have many long-term relationships, but he's committed to the short-term ones. You got to
Yeah.
give him his due.
Well, if I remember correctly, he ended up throwing that girl in a sewer because she betrayed him.
Well, after he'd gone and rescued her from some demon in a castle, I don't
Sounds
blame
about
him.
right. I'm not getting any.
And then she sold him out right after that.
Yeah. No, well, she deserved it then.
That's how grateful she was.
He let her live.
That too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool of Conan.
Since this is painted, this harkens back to like the Gold Key and Dale covers that were all painted.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know, this is kind of throwback. Look at that Tarzan like crouch there right by your thumb. Yeah.
That's
That-
great.
w-
That's
that-
Adams right there. Adams.
I was about to say that's
Neil Adams.
Triton. That's
Yeah.
Triton coming out
Yes.
of the sea, isn't it? On
Yes.
the pier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
amazing.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Amazing Adventures.
Yeah, it looks similar. Yeah.
It's an homage.
I remember seeing a Tarzan cover. I think that was like that too.
Yeah.
Almost
Mhm.
that exact same pose. Yeah. I don't think he was holding a sword though. But yeah,
It's
that
not
is-
just the
that
pose
is
though, is it?
technical.
It's the way the hand is
Yep.
stretched and
Oh
then
yeah.
bent
It's
at the front.
you
That's-
nailed it, man. That's
much so.
Triton. Yeah.
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 That's
That
so cool.
Avengers Kree-Skrull War. that
Yep.
Adams did.
Man, I
Yeah.
love that bottom panel that's just, tilted. No. On the
No,
other
the one on the
page
right,
there.
yeah, where she's on
Yeah.
the floor. Yeah.
Mhm.
Great
It's-
panel border there.
There
Yeah,
is
I
a
mean,
lot
it
on
helps.
the page.
It helps tell the story.
Yeah.
Mm. No, I reckon he's doing this 2 up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He-
More of
he-
those drop shadows on the
Yep.
panels there. I mean, he's just
Mhm.
thinking with design. You can see the way he's managing things.
Yeah.
The panels, the shapes. Brilliant.
That
Yeah, I
panel,
mean,
the panel next to the
Painted with brush in hand.
Uh,
Mind blowing.
lower left, the panel where he's looking at right next to it. That big panel next to that
Yeah.
panel,
Where he's
that looks
standing.
very much like the first panel in that Bran Mak Morn.
Ah.
Oh
Alright.
yeah. Yeah.
Same angle.
Even
This
the,
was probably
the-
penciled and then watercolor and then ink over top of it, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got a
it's-
richness to it.
You can see some variance here in the blacks. Oh, there is a little though. It might have been painted over top of the inks.
Just the female figure there, I almost look like I'm looking down on a crucifixion type scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that panel lower right, the depth of field he gets with the shadows behind Almuric is incredible.
Mhm.
Hmm. And he breaks panel with his head and top of his shoulders there.
And the angle. It's a
Mhm.
little bit harsher than the floor. Just to throw it off a little. Looks great though.
What's that on the wall?
Here,
Next, no, the other side, right there. What is that?
shackle. No, it's a lizard.
Yeah,
It's a lizard climbing
a
up that
lizard, a
wall.
lizard climbing up the wall.
Little details.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough going on the page.
Yeah. Crazy looking thing. What is that? Like a rat?
Wow. Now that
Yeah.
I really blow it up and look at it, I like the fragmentation in that fourth panel on the other page, on the first page there of his face, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I've seen him do that a couple times before too. Yeah. It's a nice shot.
Wonderful imagery.
There are places where I can see maybe Brett Ewing's getting inspiration from this.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Epic Magazine is when they would fragment up a story, it would be like, what? Really? You just get a taste and get into it, and then it would end.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
kind of frustrating for me.
Well, Heavy Metal was doing that for a little while. They do a lot of crazy serialized stories.
I guess it keeps you coming back, but does it really when you fragment it up that much?
Well, just look at that's a 2000 AD. They ran in 5-page chunks. Almost always continued. Very rarely was there a self-contained story.
Yeah, you only had to wait a week though.
Yeah, that's true too.
But Epic ran for a long time.
Yeah. Was Epic bi-monthly or was it monthly? I can't
That's
remember.
a good question.
I thought it was bi-monthly, but I could be wrong.
It seemed like it was bi-monthly. Yeah.
It had to be. Let's look that up.
Russ, you're awful quiet. Are you working? Are you drawing?
Bit of both.
Yeah. Is that that's a werewolf in the top panel, isn't it?
Looks a bit. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's who was holding the damsel's arm, wasn't it?
could be
Yeah.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Right, Shaggy. I
Ruh-roh.
forgot my Scooby snacks.
Ruby snacks.
You got to have a spider. There's your Conan spider.
Yeah.
Spider Monster. Yeah.
The reds are
It was-
almost the red and sort of lavenders are it's almost Frazetta, and I mean it's almost like he's drenched in blood. I guess he is drenched in blood. But
It was quarterly.
Quarterly.
Ah.
Okay.
There
okay.
you go.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're waiting a long time
Yeah,
for these
yeah.
stories to be completed.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to keep the interest, now with the last Galactus story with John Byrne, which I definitely just was thrilled every time a new one would come out because I was very interested in that and loved Byrne stuff. But it took so darn long, and then he didn't wind up finishing it anyway, at least in Epic.
Yeah, I remember Metamorphosis Odyssey being the same way. It's serialized through Starlin's piece in that with that introduced Dreadstar.
That's why I like that kind of episodic way of doing things, like I don't know, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TV series I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So every week you knew they were on a journey, or what was the one with the Bermuda Triangle, or
The Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah, or Logan's Run.
Sorry, not Fantastic Voyage, Fantastic Journey. That was the
That's
one
the
that
one,
took
yeah.
place in Bermuda Triangle.
And
Fantastic
Logan's-
Voyage, they were traveling through a person. Yeah,
That's right. And Logan's Run. So
Logan's
they're
Run.
on this journey, but
Mhm.
every episode has got its own little story.
Yeah.
So you're always sort of like looking to the next episode to find a new story rather than continue the one that you're on, even though there's an arc for the whole big story.
Well, yeah,
That's like-
the Fugitive really
Yeah.
started that.
Oh, yeah.
That format.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sliders
That-
was like that too. They were constantly trying to get home, and every episode
Yeah.
they'd slide into a different
Well,
world.
that's where we want to go with the Atlantean. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we want to do. So you've got these held stories within 48 pages, but at the same time, you're moving on through the world, going to the next stage. So hopefully
Epic
you
ran.
can keep people's attention with that.
Epic ran for 6 years, and
24 issues.
only published 34 issues in 6
Good
years.
Lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still, there's a lot of work goes into these pages.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know.
They must have stepped up to bi-monthly at one point then.
And that was back when you actually had to produce on a schedule, not like now.
Well, you had Jim Shooter in charge then, right? During this
I
time.
think Rick Marshall and Archie Goodwin were editors for Epic.
Oh yeah,
on that.
I guess so.
I'm looking at one of the last issues. Stan Lee is given credit as editor, and so is Archie, and so is Joe Duffy, Margaret Clark, and Dan Chichester.
Okay.
I don't know who was the editor in chief of the magazine.
Hard to say.
Archie Goodwin was so good at that. You know, he did
Yeah.
Marvel Fanfare and a lot of other.
Oh yeah,
I wish there
Archie was amazing.
I wish there was still a Jim Shooter in the business.
Oh, he's around.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Oh,
I wish
in
there
the business,
was
you mean,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish
I
there
know what
was
you
one
mean.
still in the industry.
Yeah.
I'd work for Jim Shooter in a heartbeat
Yep.
because I know that I can meet my deadlines. I'm not going to get flaky about it.
He was at that convention, Randy. Jim
The
Shooter.
Grand Rapids Con, yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Chicago Comic-Con up there.
Oh
at the
yeah,
Marriott
okay.
that we were talking about.
The last time I saw Jim, he was super sick at a Grand Rapids Con. Got to talk to him for a good half hour or so. He had a bunch of portfolios sitting on his table of all sorts of different things, and one of the portfolios was all memos that he wrote when he was editor-in-chief. That was fascinating. I told him he needed to put it into a book because that was history.
Yeah.
You know,
Why that? Why did he have that out there? Did he just want people to see what it was like, or that time of? Yeah,
because he had one memo that went out to everybody that said, let's just make good comics. That was the whole point of the memo. And there was he had one letter there that he had gotten back from Stan too. He sent Stan a half a dozen copies of the books that they had done that month, and Stan wrote him back this long letter criticizing all the covers and what was wrong with them. That was incredibly fascinating because a lot of them were pretty iconic covers. And Stan's going, "No, you didn't. Why'd you pull the camera back this far? Why'd you do this? You should have tightened up here. There's too much going on this cover." That kind of stuff. So it was really interesting to read. You could have spent, hours at least going through that portfolio, reading everything that he had. Just great stuff. Here we go.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah. Esau. Cairns. It's the main character, narrative. Roy Thomas, Tim Conrad, art. Doesn't say who lettered it. I bet he did. Bet Conrad did. All of it.
What's some other stuff that Tim Conrad did?
Just this and Mac Morn that I remember. He might have done some stuff for heavy metal at one point or another, but I couldn't tell you his whole repertoire.
Yeah, his name sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. Yep. Charles, any way of looking that up? Comic Vine or something? Maybe.
All right. What am I looking up?
You're looking up Tim Conrad, what he's done.
Tim Conrad.
So glad you're here with us today. Charles.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
research coordinator.
Yeah, research coordinator.
You should put up a little word from our sponsor while we're waiting.
Okay, we can do a word from our sponsor while we're waiting.
Arrow Comics and Shadow Kingdom are sponsoring.
Here we go.
This.
In the time before Atlantis sank and the lands of the world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny. Leaving his Atlantean tribe behind and throwing off the shackles of Lemurian bondage, he sailed the seas as a pirate captain before seizing his place as a king. And now that he has the throne, how long will he be able to keep it? This is The Shadow Kingdom, the classic sword and sorcery tale by Robert E. Howard, adapted by Randy Zimmerman, with artwork by Russ Leach. Available now at funmycomic.com. Right now over at
Hey.
Fun My Comic, folks.
Buy it now.
Tim Conrad,
Yes.
epic. Alien Worlds.
Okay. Pacific Comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably
Uh,
where I've seen it. You know,
Tales
because
of-
they would give
Tales of
credit on the
Terror, which
covers.
was also Eclipse.
Also Pacific Eclipse. That
Yeah.
started
What was it?
at Pacific, I think, didn't it? Tales of Terror.
Let's see
Oh,
if he
yeah.
was. Yeah, I'm not seeing Pacific. I'm seeing Eclipse.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Pacific Presents. He was in.
Okay.
Let's see, Alien Worlds, which was Blackthorn.
hmm
Tales of Terror was Eclipse. Alien Encounters was Eclipse. DC, he did something for a magazine called Etc.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it. Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see what else. Savage Sword.
Savage Sword of Conan.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't
Interesting.
do it. He did not do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, there
That
okay.
was Marvel UK.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a reprint of something else. Let's see what he did for.
is he a British
Planet of the-
artist?
No.
Or,
He
I
might
mean,
have done stuff that was only printed over there because Planet of the
Yeah.
Apes didn't last long here in the States, but
Yeah.
it was huge over in Europe and really huge in Australia.
Oh, it's-
Etc.
it's big over here, yeah.
Etc. was Piranha Press, which was a DC imprint.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the first 10 issues of Planet of the Apes.
I think that's all it ran in magazine form over here in black and white. Had a lot of
Yeah.
Plug material right at the
Yeah.
start. Very pretty.
Yeah,
Real
it's
pretty
great.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
But the thing
That's-
is, it was so the Planet of the Apes was so hot in Australia. They went through and printed a bunch of the Killraven stories and substituted apes for Martians. Or Martians, or yeah, apes for the Martians. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Here's Tim Conrad in the Marvel black and white magazine, Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction.
Is it list a number?
Yeah, number 4. Let's see what he did in there.
You adapted a science fiction story by
a
somebody.
vision of Venus, which does what was
Albert.
adapted? Yeah, Otis Albert.
Otis
at
Klein.
Adele, yeah, and that was reprinted in Planet of the Apes, Marvel
Okay.
UK.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did not do a ton of work.
So those Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction were amazing too.
Yes.
Everybody was in that and doing all sorts of adaptions of science fiction stories. Just a great magazine. Should have never stopped that one. You had everybody from, we looked at some Al Nino doing
yeah.
Repent Harlequin, Cried the TikTok Man, and Behold the Man by Michael Moorcock. But early on, George Perez, I think issue 2, adapted a story called War Toy that was about a robot soldier. That was just
Kaluta,
classic Perez. Yeah.
Bruce Jones.
Everybody was in that magazine.
Yeah. Didn't last too long, 6 issues.
No, but it was great while it lasted.
Yeah.
Just fantastic stuff.
Gene Colan.
what was the title?
Unknown
Worlds of
Worlds of
Science
Science Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
It was a magazine.
Yeah.
First
And-
issue had Day of the Triffids adaptation, I think, by Gene Colan.
Number 3 had that Alex Nino
Yeah.
story you mentioned.
Behold the Man. Yep.
Yeah. Bruce Jones, I like his stuff.
Number 2 was War Toy by George Perez. That was the big lead story in that. And they always umbrellaed that. They bookended every issue by the black glass. Somebody would walk into a shop and he'd show them a piece of glass. that had a story in it.
Slow glass.
Slow glass. That captured light slowly. Yeah.
Gray Morrow had 14
yeah.
pages in issue number 5. Chaikin had 10 pages in issue number 5. Kaluta, Redondo. Yeah, it was there's more
stuff.
Gene Colan. Yeah, that's a I love all the black and white magazines. I have a a soft spot for any black and white magazine, no matter how bad it is.
Like
Because some of
that,
the
yeah,
some of the
Rampaging Hulk,
this-
maybe.
some of the the
Rampaging
Hulk
Hulk
stuff.
was great.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
there's a
love that book.
Starlin story inked by Nino, or is it a Nino story inked by Starlin? I think it's a Starlin story inked by Nino.
Where is that at?
That is in
I got to dig that up.
Rampaging Hulk, I think 4.
Okay.
Also, that has an incredible Starlin cover. Yeah, it's and you want to talk about a combination of art. Jim Starlin inked by Nino.
Yeah.
That's got to be crazy looking.
I think that's
In a good way.
one where he's shackled and almost looks crucified. Yeah.
On the cover, and that can be had relatively inexpensive and nice condition. That's just a classic. You wouldn't think those two would go together, but it's a match made in heaven just once. Those two artists together just once, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And Starlin was at the height of his powers at that time.
Also collected them until I had a full story. It was a comic. I'd read that one before. Hang on. So it takes while it come out, like with the Harry Potter novels. I read then until there's no cliffhanger, then get the next one and start where I left off with on the right of the next tome. Yeah. Yep. Sarah says with all the work going into that, I can see why it would come out quarterly. That's a lot of work to make it look so amazing. Yeah, it was their version of heavy metal. Heavy metal was raging at that point.
Yeah.
Great way to get comics into the newsstand.
quick bit of recap and then on with the story. Looks like. Yeah, very Corbin here.
Yeah, they should have. They took those rampaging Hulks and turned them into a Marvel Essentials.
Yeah,
that I've got. But they should have done that with the science fiction stories too. They might have had a problem with the rights, but they were doing Unknown Worlds there for quite a while and adapting science fiction stories, a regular comic form. They could have thrown all of those in with the Unknown Worlds of science fiction, and probably had enough to do a Essentials book if they wanted to. They just never did it.
They don't think like you and I.
No. No, but you get those occasional collections like that. Like the Showcase Presents did a world ending book, world shattering, and it had all of the old post-apocalyptic Hercules in it, and a bunch of other just short run stories that were just amazing. All of the Atomic Knight stories were in that too, with Gardner Fox and Murphy Anderson.
Yeah.
And just some great, after the world dies stories in that book. There's also a collection, a Showcase Presents of all of the Marvel magazine of the Doc Savage run.
Oh, wow.
That
yeah, the Essential and
DC
Showcase.
kicked that out as a Showcase Presents, and it's all the Doc Savage magazine stories, and it's great.
Yeah,
Love that recap on the left there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a great montage here. Picked up right into the action. And it's raining. Great stuff.
I'd put this up against anything that's being produced today.
Oh, yeah.
You could pick something at random from this era and say that.
I have to agree. Yep. Absolutely. It's a lot of great stuff coming out during this time.
That a lot of ground
Certainly
to cover
up
here.
Certainly up against corporate comics anyway.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of great stuff out
that's
there in
what I
indies.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that come back in the crowdfund stuff.
Because this, you know, even though they're up against deadlines, there was still so much care and effort put into what they were doing,
Mhm.
and that's what you get from indie books. I'm not saying that people who work on corporate comics don't put in care and attention, but they are restricted by finance, they're restricted by schedules, they're restricted by all kinds of things.
Well, the tone is set at the top. You have to
Yeah.
blame the publishers
Yes.
and the editors because they're commissioning this stuff. So the story can be really poorly written and really poorly drawn, but somebody commissioned that, paid for it, approved it, and published it.
Excuse me.
So the blame goes to the top.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Boom. It gets captured.
Yeah, he gets caught a lot, doesn't he?
It shows you what you can do with limited palette.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's different graduations of red. Other colors. He does a lot with purple and red in this.
Why take the man? He says, whoever saw a white-skinned man with blue eyes before? Take care, though. He has the thews of a lion. THEWS. Never seen that before.
The main character, I mean, just from the flesh tones, pops.
Yeah.
You know, like there and then over on the first panel on the second page. I mean, no, is that him? Okay, what's that in front of
he's
him?
tied
Then?
up here.
What's that in front of him then?
What is that in front of him? Looks like somebody's knee.
I thought that was his knee. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that is his knee. He's knocking this guy.
Yeah, that's the bad guy that you pointed to.
Yeah, that didn't come through very well. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because he's tied up and he just knees the guy in the
sure
face.
it's in the caption box there explaining
she's trying to help him.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Color wise, his flesh tone on these makes it stand out.
Right.
He doesn't get lost in all of this design.
Mm-hmm.
It heavily reliant on color.
Yeah.
And look at, has anybody mentioned just what you got your thumb on right there, that it goes outside a panel behind there?
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very subtle. You got to know where your cutoff is at the printers, don't you? Or you lose the mark.
Right.
Was the artist lettering this himself?
I think so. There's no credit to the letterer, at least.
Just by the way that he's leaving the space there around those panels on the left-hand side. Looks like he was in control of where the lettering was.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that he, like that top panel on the second, that he's not afraid to, hit the color different, like it's almost a bleached out scene.
Right.
But the rest of it looks so rich. or second to last panel on that second. There, it almost becomes black and white.
Yeah.
Segue. It's got a good balance to it. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, I not so much that bleach out look that occasionally crops up,
It's outside in the sunlight there.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where story comes into, right?
You'd never be able to get away with this today because the guy's journal's written all in cursive. Any
Yeah.
any editor would think half of the audience wouldn't be able to read it.
Yeah.
What's this foreign language here?
And then
English.
we have boom. Can we see? We can't see all of that. I'm gonna have to enlarge the camera just a little.
Yeah, you
bit
are.
up.
Wow. Look at that. Grand Canyon.
A little bit of Tolkien
So you
here.
can see
Whoop.
just how great that is.
Turned it on its side as well. Just went
Yep.
for it.
Folks, this is Playboy and Penthouse for comic book collectors.
Yeah.
This is the pinup.
There were Penthouse comics.
Now I got a question here. It looks like you see the low the lower part, the wing is translucent.
Here.
You
yeah.
can see the tower
yeah.
through the
Yeah.
wing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's impressive. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
And he's got kind of a negative shadow work
Yeah.
looking here.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yep.
Like he did that negative figure in the first issue
Mm-hmm.
when he was being transformed or tortured or whatever. Transformed.
Isn't that a great couple of pages though? Just fantastic. Look at that forced perspective down.
Uh-huh.
The winged creatures there. Openness of the landscape there.
Nothing like a
Just-
tower for fantasy.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
I could see where this, graphic novel's going for a good little bit, It's-
Was only 2 of them on eBay.
yeah. I just, this is a page turner. I mean, you never know what to expect. And then just like this, it's like, whoops, got to turn the whole book.
Yeah.
The way you perceive the artwork. It's so grandiose, you have to turn the book. I can definitely see some early, the influence, maybe it's in the faces of, it may not be prominent or that, but I can definitely see Steranko.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
The copies on abebooks.com are even more expensive. Here's a copy signed by Roy Thomas for $85. Here's a copy for $254. Here's a copy for $255. And those have stock images. They're not even showing you
What
a
you
picture of what you're going to get.
get.
So you have no idea what condition
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
see it in. Yeah.
Well, they can see. Yeah, it says new, but yeah, I want to
Maybe
see
you
it. I
should
want to
try
see it.
that. Maybe you should try that with this copy.
Especially if you're spending $200 on it. No, I don't think I'm going to get rid of this one.
I wouldn't get rid of it.
I get. It looks like part of the reason it's so expensive is
Because
that there are just so few
doing that, yeah.
copies out there.
Yeah.
Could be.
It may have been an extremely low print run, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dark Horse.
What
in the
did
early
could
90s.
you put Sarah's comment back up?
Oh, yeah.
If I don't bump the camera again, sure.
Bobbity bump bump.
She was giving us some love. I think I want to see that again.
Bum, 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 bum.
So I love fantasy and I love listening to artists. I'd probably miss some details without seeing things through all of the additional work done.
Well, I hope she loves listening to writers too, because I'm not an artist.
That too can be forgiven.
Yeah, I'm a writer, editor, art director, and packager. That
You're
should
an
be
artist.
for any
Packager.
woman.
You're an artist with words.
And you
You're a
Google like
creator.
nobody's business.
Sorry, folks.
You are definitely do your research.
It's so easy nowadays. I when you're on Facebook and people are getting things wrong or asking questions that are just so easy to find out the answer to as far as credits,
Yep.
Mhm.
just look it up.
It's not rocket science, folks.
No.
Yeah, I may not trust the internet for telling me who's running the country properly, but I think I can get some decent credit notes.
Yeah, but comics.org generally gets it right. Plus,
yeah.
there are so thank you, Sarah. There are so many public domain comics online.
Yeah. Yep.
That second
All of the
panel,
people who go into creating comics. That's what brought me back into comics after being out into the venue for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Since I regained a new respect.
I see some Neil Adams, Pablo Marcos, like on that second upward shot
Yeah.
Yep.
in the face.
This year, you're most welcome, Sarah says.
Love that
Thanks
last
again,
panel
Sarah.
where he's like crawling out of the comic.
Yeah.
Looks like some type of figure that would come after Johnny Quest, you know, some gargoyle figure.
Yeah.
Russ, what do you think about Pablo Marcos? I know this is kind of off the subject.
Not familiar with the name.
Not familiar with him? Okay.
No. Tell me some things he's done. I might be familiar with that.
Savage Sword of
Conan.
Conan?
Pablo Marcos, Marcos.
I mean, that's not all he did, but we thought we'd hit you between the eyes with it.
Yeah.
No.
Rex thought he was
What's he done?
softballing you a question, Rex.
Yeah.
and
How about
Well,
some
turns
Conan,
into
huh?
No,
you heard of that?
I vaguely remember the name Pablo, but I'm just crap with names.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
you know, it's like I could well be like salivating over his stuff and just not knowing his name. I've always been crap with names.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
towards things that
you're
are-
also in the UK,
interesting.
and that's, you know, I mean, I wasn't aware of like Dave Gibbons and Alan Davis, and you know, a lot of those that you probably grew up with.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I kind of vaguely recognize the name.
Well, he did a lot of inking, but now he can definitely draw as well. You know.
Yeah.
He did a lot of stuff for the Marvel black and white magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Hold on a sec. I'll go and have a look, and I'll see if I recognize the work. Pablo.
He was one of the first
Marcos.
artists.
Marcos. Yeah.
My first Marvel anything was one of those black and white. It was Vampire Tales #5 with Pablo Marcos and Dick Garagano and Gil Kane was in there with the Morbius.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I can see some of his stuff here. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I'm just not familiar with his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got the magazines with it in right beside me.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
Good for you.
I'm just crap. I'm just crap at names. Yeah, I
Open panel
recognize
there.
quite a lot
Yeah.
of this actually.
Another open panel here.
Usually when I, to identify an artist, it can be like knees and elbows and fingers and things like that. Like a Gil Kane is so distinctive at, but, or Perez has a style, right? I mean, and Neil Adams certainly, but you've had like Mike Neisser and Sienkiewicz. Anybody can kind of be mimicked, but I usually look at the faces. And that's why Spider-Man artists are so tough, because his face is covered.
Yeah.
How did they
Okay.
do expressions? How did they construct a face? That's what was really telling.
Although you can see Kirby hands or even
Yeah.
Buscema hands. You can
Mhm.
pick them up. The way that Buscema constructs a anatomy, you can see that. So
Right.
yeah, but I do know what you mean. There are certain things you just pick them out.
Yeah, I mean, faces is a main
Yeah.
identifier for me when all else fails. You know,
Yeah.
the faces
There you
are.
go. Put enlarge my screen, Randy. There you go.
Yeah.
How good is that? That's Pablo.
Yeah.
There you go. And I have this one. Yes.
Look at that candle. Wow.
Just look at that. You see Buscema through it as well. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautifully done.
Now, is that
Yeah.
inks over Buscema?
Yeah. Inks over
Yeah.
Buscema. Yeah.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Mhm.
Oh, God.
At the mountain of the moon god. Yes.
Just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those that enhanced, and didn't overshadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Buscema's work was overshadowed and frankly made worse, I think, on some of the issues because of the inkers.
And wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
That is. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it was always a style. You could always tell a Paro apart from like Ramona Fredon or John Buscema, John from Sal. You could tell apart. P. Craig Russell, you could tell his stuff. Magnolia, like a mile away. Conrad's kind of the same thing. He's got his own particular individual feel to his stuff.
Well, that's what you want as an artist.
Yeah.
You want people to identify you. I mean, as flattering as it is for that stuff from the Conan books at the moment, from Titan, was it the Torres, the guy that draws like Buscema? It's beautiful work, and from a distance or even pretty close up, you go, "Is that Buscema?" And like I said, I've said before, you asked me 10 years ago, I can let you draw like Buscema, I'd have given you my left arm. But I've grown up even more since then, and I appreciate that as tempting as that is to try and emulate someone that you love so much, I wouldn't want to be confused with that person. I'd want my own identity.
Yep.
There's another guy imitating Buscema before that Torres guy. I can't think of his name.
Jerry DeCare.
Filipino guy, if I remember correctly.
No, this is a American dude.
What's his
draws
name?
Exactly. Jerry DeCare. Draws exactly like John Buscema. Big fan.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't think that's him. I think maybe it's somebody else. And I remember his agent approaching me at a convention and wanted to know if I wanted to use him. And I just thought, well, I don't, it's just such an obvious ripoff that I didn't feel comfortable. I thought the art was okay, but I just didn't feel comfortable with it.
No, I agree. And as impressive as Torres' art is, and it is beautiful, it's like, I wouldn't want to be confused with someone else. However good those people are, however great and legendary they are, I wouldn't want that confusion. I would feel like I was, like you say, impersonating, and I'd want people to go, "No, that's a Russ Leach. I like that." Yeah, great. I mean, I've had a couple of people say to me about some of the Cole work that I've said. They've gone like, "Oh, there's a little bit of Buscema in that, a little bit of Ernie Chan." I like that work, and that's incredibly flattering, and it really is humbling to have people say, "I see these people in your work." And that's enough for me to know that.
Yeah. Says Glenn have other engagements this week? Yeah, Glenn's decided to take a couple weeks off to concentrate on his art. Allison, we hope is doing well. Last I heard, she's been sick off and on, and we
Yeah.
hope she
was feeling
better.
a bit better yesterday. We were on Sketchy Saturday yesterday. So
Oh, cool. I hope she comes back here. She's welcome in anytime. The wingspan on the bottom of the right page looks great with keeping up with proportions. Yeah. That was back here.
yeah, it's cool.
Just love that whole panel. Just works real well.
The shadows.
Yeah.
Heading towards the conclusion. Says so right there.
I'm not ready for it to be over.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That looks like, what's his name? Stephen Fabian. I think the guy's artwork is. Used to do this stipple work.
Oh,
It's
beautiful
just
page.
amazing science fiction.
That left-hand page there. Glenn would appreciate those stars.
Yeah.
I know this doesn't have anything to do with this artist or whatever, but I also get a Jim Starlin vibe,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
Yeah. The way he's
Little bit.
presenting the panels and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Starlin's work. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was
Art
kind of,
influence, but
you
not
know,
fan.
after Kirby and everything in the 60s, he
Good
kind
vibes
of
to Allison. Absolutely.
added that second wave of cosmic stories. You know, it seemed
Mhm.
like he worked on the cosmic stories, you know.
His Kirby, Buscema's work with Fantastic Four
Mm-hmm.
and Starlin's work all went into Only Death Can Save Us for me. That was the
Okay.
main impetus behind that. Was like the inspiration. Those guys and what they did, the look of it, the feel of it, the kind of the cosmic story aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was all Only Death Can Save Us. Love Starlin. Ba-ding.
That wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you.
Is looking at our numbers, folks. If you're on a platform where you can send some like or a little love, please feel free to do that if you're enjoying this show. Deeply appreciate you being here. Love that you're all here. Our numbers are really big this morning, and we hope you're enjoying this work as much as we enjoy showing it to you. So we do this every Sunday at 9 a.m. Sunday Funnies, Indie Comics Network on YouTube, Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube, Randy Zim channel on YouTube. We're all archived there. Working on getting over to Rumble. We're streaming, I think, a little bit over on X this morning as well. So welcome, everybody. Deeply appreciate you being here. Sarah goes, is he getting sucked in upside down at the bottom of the right page? Like the Tremors movies? Might be. Let's see here.
To use
No,
a British
just
term,
fell.
this is a banger.
A banger.
Sucked. Yeah.
Did I get it right, Russ?
Yeah, I think the current vernacular of banger is appropriate for things that are great and impactful.
Okay.
I thought that meant
used to-
sausage over there.
A banger is also a sausage. Bangers and bangers and mash, as in mashed potato.
Bangers and mash.
And a banger is also an old car. I do believe that banger has been used in a derogatory female way as well, but I don't want to talk about that.
Oh,
I like the British phrase "knock me up in the morning."
Do you, Russ? Do you like beans and toast?
That's probably got a whole different connotation over here.
Beans on toast is nice. Yeah, I like beans on toast. It's a very British thing, but I love beans on toast, baby.
Yeah.
Indie Comics Network says, I recognize that voice anywhere. Hey, Rex. LOL. Rex has been with us for the last few shows here. Always welcome. Shadow Kingdom. There we are. Go fund my comic.
Thank you.
Please do. Yes, I crack a whip at those who don't give a like. There we are. Oh, Sarah, you're just encouraging them not to hit the button.
Whip me, whip me.
So another commenter. Hey there, Dark Star. Yeah, Dark Star in the house. Welcome to have you here. Yotam, Dark Star.
Hey, Yotam.
OMG. Banger is a sausage. Blah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, okay. I've had bangers and mash before.
Bangers and mash.
Yeah.
You
Better
like
than
it?
eels and mash. Ooh, eels. Ooh.
Eels?
Oh,
Eels.
Eels?
Eels. Wriggling around up inside you. Eels.
Yeah.
You missed a page there. I think you turned 2 at once. Or am I just imagining?
No,
No, sorry.
you're
I imagined
imagining.
it. Sorry.
No, but it is good to double check considering how great this artwork is.
All
Yeah.
that talk of eels. Hey.
Yep.
I guess it's the when they're on the surface in the daylight, like you said, that it goes to a more muted palette.
Mm-hmm. It's a sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool.
OMG, don't enable my gutter mind. Holy hell. LOL. We are here to inspire, after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Esau Iron Hand of the tribe of Koth. And I would parlay with both you and the Kothans. In truth, you'll tell your lies to the clawbirds, though you'll do it with your throat wide slit.
Arr.
Nice muscles here. Great back. Boom. Look at that middle panel. Can't help but see it. The little jagged sawtooth.
Now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
It's very tree-like
Yeah.
the way it's presented.
With that face. Jack Black, folks, in the house. Nice stuff. There's Batman right there.
You
Neil
think?
Adams.
Pose.
That
Yeah.
was Batman, yeah.
Yep.
It's a classic Batman pose right there.
Only he's holding a knife instead of having his hand open. Very classic.
Must have a lot of Adams influence
Mm.
on him. Yeah.
He could do worse.
Even subconsciously going with that, for me, that's a very iconic pose for Batman
Mhm.
from Neil Adams. Just like we were looking at him reaching up with his hand like Triton there some pages back.
Yeah, that was a good call by Russ. I mean, it looked familiar to me, but it was like, where have I seen that before?
Yeah.
Russ knew right off.
Yes, I've watched people do artwork literally on a saw blade. That's epic. There we are.
While it was spinning.
Could be.
Yeah. Now that's talent.
Hmm.
I'm taking a page from Russ. I'm drawing now while commenting as well.
That's how to do it.
Damn,
Mhm.
arrows.
This work isn't going to get itself done. I'm putting a little effort in.
Yeah. Literally on a saw blade. Yep.
He definitely favors the crimson and the purple combination.
Mm-hmm.
If done well, look at that. again.
Hey,
Yeah,
I figured out the other artist, the first Buscema ripoff guy,
Oh yeah.
Benito Gallego.
Okay.
Yeah, he was before this Torres guy. Torre.
Could be
then
Italian or
so-
Filipino.
I think he's Italian, and yeah, he's. It's funny that he got overshadowed by somebody else doing the same thing,
Yeah.
imitating Buscema.
Oh
Sure,
God,
why
he
not?
is.
No,
He's
well,
blimey.
Are you looking at Benito?
Yeah.
Yeah, Benito Gallego.
artist.
I was approached by his agent easily 10 years ago. Yeah.
God.
And I said, thanks, but no thanks. Because I just figured I was going to get really criticized for
Hammered for it.
for
yeah.
using this guy. Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest, it's like what they've done. He's not that great though. Sorry.
No, he isn't. He
He
isn't.
isn't that great. I mean, it's obviously an ape, whereas Torres' stuff is a little bit more on the nose, I think.
Yeah,
a
and
little bit
Tor-
finer
also-
crafting as well.
Yeah, Torres is a better storyteller as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think there's a bit of a zeitgeist at the moment, and it's growing. It's like we've got this kind of backlash towards current entertainment and towards current comic books, mainstream comics or corporate comics, and people are looking for those. They're looking for outlets, and like Titan because Blaze did really well with the Sumerian,
Yeah.
and Titan jumped on that and thought, right, okay, there's a market here. Yeah, and they jumped straight into it and thought, well, who can we use? And they found someone to literally pick up on that sort of requirement for those old stories, the way that it's done. And they picked him out, which they did a brilliant job of picking him out. But they can get away with it because they're so big. But the rest of us wouldn't get away with it. Would be accused of,
I think you're right.
plagiarism.
And what I
Yeah.
find so interesting is that in the past, there have been many artists who have at least started out by imitating
Yeah.
other artists, but
Yeah.
I don't ever remember seeing an artist imitated so closely
Mm.
by two different artists.
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I 100%
Oh,
with you. I've not seen
I have to disagree because there was a time period there when everybody looked like Jim Lee to me.
Oh, well,
Everybody.
Okay,
That was out
Everybody
there.
had-
Scott Williams,
everybody-
you're
everybody
absolutely right.
attempted.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
attempted to look
Yeah.
like Jim Lee.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even I did that when back in the day. Okay, everyone attempted to, but no one really pulled it off.
Yeah.
Whereas Torres he's pulling it off.
Yeah. And Randy needs to take a look at Benito as well. Because this is just you'd look at it and you'd go, what happened to Big John? He can't really do it anymore. That's definitely him, but something's wrong.
Yeah,
No, it's not John.
it's not John.
What's his
No.
name again? Benito?
Benito
Gallego.
Gallego.
Yeah, it's a bit Benito.
2 L's, 1 G.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. I mean, it's not, it's not awful.
No.
It's good
Oh, no.
stuff.
No, if John Buscema had never existed, you'd go, this guy looks really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. But you
Benito
can see where
Gallego?
it isn't John.
Benito Gallego.
Gallego. Gallego.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of his art out there.
He's still represented by the same agent.
Right.
Okay, nothing come up there. Let me try Benito.
Yeah. I wouldn't
No
say-
regrets on not hiring.
No, not at all. Not at all. His price probably would have been reasonable at the time, but
Right.
and then he hadn't really been published yet. And then right after that, he started getting published, I think, in the black and white magazines published by Warrant, not to be confused with Warren.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've got
Yeah.
a Benito Gallego here. Gallego.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's Mexican.
Okay.
Right. There you go.
And his
Okay.
stuff looks his stuff doesn't remind me of Buscema at all. You should
You're
see
kidding.
this. Let me pull this image
We
up
can't
here.
we can't be looking at the same guy.
let me share my screen here and take a look. It looks good. I like it.
Maybe he works in different styles.
Can you see that? Let me blow that up
there
here.
are people that do that.
Can't blow it up. He must work in different styles.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
but
that's him.
that's less Buscema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've
But
got some stuff where he's been doing Tarzan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love to see a Tarzan by him. That would be crazy.
Yeah, it's again, it's like it exactly as Charles has said. If Buscema never existed,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't compare this to Buscema. Do you know what I mean? You'd go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is quite cool.
You go,
I like
this guy. Yeah. You go,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
But because it's very reminiscent of Buscema,
So
it's
close.
like,
Yeah.
and yet it's obviously not as good. Yeah. Whereas Torres is
Look at that
nailing it.
though. Yeah. I love his choice of color here. That's nice. I think this
You
is
see
great.
that?
I
That's
see
the
a
least-
little bit of Buscema there, but not a lot. I mean, the
I
pose
see
is
that.
natural.
What
Did
I've
you
just
do
looked at, that's the least looking Buscema I've
I agree.
seen.
Did
Okay,
you
no
do a
shadow on
Google
his
search,
Yeah.
Randy? Did you do
Say
a
what?
Google? Did you do a Google image search on
A
his
Bing
name?
search. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I'm-
Bing is
Yeah.
not. The
I've just
best.
put in Benito Gallego
Yeah, and do an image
in
search.
Google. Yeah,
Yep.
and there's loads of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I popped this up in Google. That's the first thing that popped up, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty
It's a
wild.
perfect image here.
Yeah, that didn't even come up for me in a
Well,
Google image
even with
search.
Let me look
even
here.
with imitator artists, your true self is going to come through. I think on some stuff.
Eventually. Yeah.
When you just let yourself.
Well, yeah,
go.
but this guy's been at it for 10 years.
Right.
Here, look
And
at this.
he's made
There
now
you go.
people want
Oh,
him
no.
to look like this because that's his trademark.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
I
yeah.
do think he's making a conscious effort to get away from that look, though, because it's here it is again. Let me find this. Where is it? I got a bigger one here. That's what she said. Anyway,
Randy, be better. Be better.
That's what he said.
how's this?
I know you want it to be true, but
Again, you're finding the most
That's the second thing that popped up on Bing. Yeah.
It's
Look at that.
I've got loads of here. Look, put me up.
That's not terrible stuff here.
Put me up. Put me up.
Do
All right,
Russ.
That's what she said too.
There you go. Look, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that
Look at that.
it's
Oh yeah,
reminiscent-
yeah. That's.
it-
Are you sure it's not
reminiscent-
Buscema? That's what that looks
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
reminiscent, but it is nowhere near as
No.
good. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas
Now
Torres.
see, he's got the
He's-
raw feel of Buscema working here. That's even that. Look at that arm. That arm's horrible.
Yeah.
On
whereas
Tarzan.
Torres is nailing it. Do you
Yes.
see what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done. I've had enough of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, back to the good stuff here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back to the good stuff. Yeah.
There's a reverse angle on the tower from the worm's eye view.
Yeah.
A lot of mayhem there.
Sketchy guy in the house. Sketchy. Hope you're doing well. Sketchy guy, Nevada.
what
Sarah
do you
says
think
his
about that
outfit
guy?
Looks
He's a
like he
little
has
sketchy.
herpes. What the deuce? Yeah.
What? Oh my!
I've worked in a big university health center with no judgment about seeing how that looks. ROFL. Yeah, okay. What this looks great to me.
Mm-hmm.
Love that stance there. Looks like it's real reminiscent of who is that? Don Lawrence, the guy who does Trigon Empire here
Mm.
and some of this.
It's a similar kind of
painted
color
look.
work, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Having those flying creatures down below, in the middle, and way up top really helps with the depth of field.
Yeah. Initial pick before this one.
That buzzsaw look again.
Arrows.
Yeah. Right here and here. Now we face our true enemy. not mere slaves. Push on. Show those flying scum the wrath of men.
Gotta love it. Online pick you brought up. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. All right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now, sir. Thank you. Boom.
Nice shadows top right there.
You, I should have known.
Should have known.
Dastardly evil grin there. We strike with the saw iron hand. Body just breaking through the panel border there. This one here too. Sweet. Another X.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see the lettering just guiding you through it. That's a hard purple palette right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Almost swallows up the characters in those first panels.
It does. What's a good story like this without a monster? There we are.
No problem. Yes, great shadow work. I love the demon leaning over the panel. Yeah. So it would just pointing out.
Last panel, first page looks a lot like Neil Adams.
Same thing.
The up close face.
Yeah, there's
That's
lots
how
of
he-
it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that in a good way. It's just, you know, I
Mm.
see reminiscent stuff of, you know, from
Mm-hmm. Panels and all sorts of work within and outside of them. Stunning. Yeah. A lot happening.
Part of the fun. Love this monster here, though.
Another X.
Yep. Jumping in. Getting splurged. Oh,
Is
he's
that
cutting into
is
him.
that an eclipse?
He's cutting into him. Yeah. In the end, he gets the blue girl.
hell yeah.
Just like Kirk.
Just like Kirk.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is this thing you call a kiss? Well, get your knickers off and I'll tell you.
Sarah says exactly it works. Life and battles don't happen in clean panels. This adds to the chaos. What's going on? Major props. Yeah. And Yodam
Just here
says
to read
noise.
the meter.
Noise. Yep.
I'm just here to read the meter, love.
Yeah.
Could you show me again?
Show me where the slot is.
Oh, that was too on the money.
No time for the old in out.
And that's it.
Wow. I can
That's
tell
brilliant.
I'm
What a
dealing with
great
mature
book.
audience
It's
here.
the girl in the end, and all is well. Ready for the
Wow.
sequel. Yeah.
Fantastic.
He got
Looking at
blued.
ALMURIC, folks. Dark Horse, printed by Dark Horse, originally printed, and Epic Illustrated, issues 2 through 5.
You can almost get a copy on eBay.
Almost.
Almost.
Needs
Take out
it
a mortgage
needs to
for
be
it.
reprinted again. Is what it needs.
Yeah,
Needs
it
to have
does.
another edition kicked out.
I
Titan.
wonder who owns the rights.
Titan. Titan's got the
probably.
rights to
Yeah,
all of the
yeah.
Howard stuff, and this is a story that won't be in public domain for many, many, many years, many decades. So yeah, they're the ones to do it. So Titan, if you can, get on it. Great stuff. Sarah says, thanks for sharing. Yes, great. I do love some things on Dark Horse. Yep. They've had their share of good stuff.
Superb.
Yodam says, thanks. You're welcome. Very welcome.
you,
Glad
Yodam.
you're here. Glad you're all here. We still only have one love, though, so feel free to hit that like button if you're on a platform that'll allow that. If you're over on YouTube and you're watching on Indie Comics Network, you can always send us some stars. Or if you can, super chats. I don't know if you can super chat us yet or not, but we are monetized over there. So every bit of money that ICN gets from this all goes to the upkeep of the channel. And there's a lot of great programming over there that we like to do. So
Hey, they let me on.
there you are. ALMURIC, folks. Robert E. Howard, adapted by Roy Thomas, Tim Conrad. Great, great, great stuff.
He's done a few things.
Roy, yeah.
Yeah.
Roy wrote quite a few. Says says refresh if you're on YouTube, you'll see more likes. Yeah, but yes, to all the platforms. Absolutely. Thank you so much, folks. Deeply
There's
appreciate
not
it.
everybody that can say that they've influenced generations of people, but I think Roy could probably lay claim to that, although he'd probably be too humble to do so.
Mm-hmm.
He would probably say, he's just following in the steps of some giants himself, which, isn't that all of us?
Yeah. Yeah. Another excellent show, folks. Thank you. Thank you, Levi, for popping in. Appreciate everybody stopping by. We show this stuff off because we love it. And
Roy was
it inspires you.
Roy was a bigger influence on me than Stan.
Yeah.
And Conan number 24, The Song of Red Sonja. That's the comic that made me want to be a comic book writer.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Roy.
Yeah, thank you, Roy.
Absolutely.
Everybody, we want to tell you thanks so much for popping in and watching the show. If you enjoyed this show, make sure you tell your friends. We're here every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Lots more great stuff to show you. Lots more stuff going on. There's so much great comic book work. We will never get through it all. So
what are we looking at next week? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, we don't know.
It's a magical mystery tour.
It's a magical mystery tour. More than likely, it could be the Sumerian Volume 1.
Yeah. It's gonna be barbarian based, whatever.
It'll be barbarian, yeah.
Biased.
Sumerian Volume 1, probably. Nice stuff. Very different looking material. Ablaze does some phenomenal volumes. So we hope that you stick around for that next week. Rex, tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, YouTube, Instagram, YouTube daily. Just look under Devil Flyer on X, Devil Flyer Momentum, and on Fund My Comic and Indiegogo, my ash can.
All right.
Two books out there right now too. I canceled
Charles
one on Indiegogo.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Indiegogo and Fund My Comic.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Always appreciate you being here. Charles, tell folks how they can find you.
Seek and ye shall find. I am out there. And if you reach out to me, I'll give you some free PDFs. One is a preview of the first Rammer, which you see behind me. And also available is a free PDF for the second issue, which is coming out the 27th of this month. Rammer is a master thief in a future police state. So go to Amazon and spend some money.
There you are. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at russleach.com. you can find the Shadow Kingdom on funmycomic.com. And you can find Only Death Can Save Us in all good book outlets. You want to connect with me, just go to russleach.com. All the network connections are there.
There you go. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me over at arrowcomics.store, where you'll find a lot of great books that I can probably grab here with a little bit of effort. One of these book poops has it here. Like Paragon, it's a superhero story that I created and wrote. The Fool, another character I'm really fond of. It's a lot of fun. All of these stories are self-contained, so you're not buying one of 6 or one of 3 or whatever, except Calico. Calico is a long-running epic story, fantasy about a talking cat, a collecting elf, a female centaur warrior, a chauvinistic barbarian fairy, and a wise old wizard as they try to put their world back together again. And also, don't forget HeroBot Zero. Is a character that I do primarily everything on, especially the first issue. It's a 3-foot-tall giant robot who defends his city from large monsters as long as he can do it on the clock and get time and a half for overtime. So, folks, that's all over at arrowcomics.store. And also right now, I do believe Alice in Chains is over there as well, which is a great story about a woman who breaks out of a test tube and runs out of her lab or escapes from her captors with the ability of shooting chains with little hooks out of the palm of her hand. So,
That sounds like Hellraiser.
Can we get some?
It's a very friendly book.
Can we get some love from Greta this morning?
Yeah, we probably could. Greta, can you give us some love? Oh, she's resentful.
How dare you?
There we are.
Thank you.
How dare you?
Folks, again, we show this stuff off because we love doing it. Friday mornings, we have another show called Comics by Night, also archived over at the Comic Book Black Belt and Randy Zim channel, but most especially over at the Indie Comics Network. All of those shows are over there where we look at more great sequential art. Because like I said, you can never see it. You'll never see it all. You'll never see it all. And there's so much great material out there for us to enjoy. This Friday, I have no idea what we're going to watch, but I'll figure something out. But we'll look at something great, probably barbaric. Then too, maybe some Conan, maybe some Savage Sword. Yeah. You never know. So stop by then and take a look. Friday mornings, 5 a.m. or archived over at the Indie Comics Network, Comic Book Black Belt, Randy Zim YouTube channel, other places throughout the web. Deeply appreciate you being here. Remember, folks, there's so much negativity out there, way too much drama. We just need to shut up and do the work. Keep working, do the stuff that you love, talk about the stuff that you love, and talk about it positively. Some of these idiots literally don't need your air. Hating ain't creating.
No, get out there and make it.
So get out there, read good comics, tell folks about great comics. Dig up those old comics. We had somebody here in the chat just a second ago talking about how he had a lot of those old Epic Illustrated. You'd be amazed what's out there. Visit your local retailer, spend a little time, look through his magazine boxes, look through those boxes that are closest to the floor. Those old gold keys are fantastic. Those old black and white magazines, especially from the 70s and 80s, old Marvel stuff, a lot better than you remember. Just phenomenal stuff, just waiting for you to discover and to read and enjoy and be entertained by. Great stuff. If there's anything out there you want us to take a look at, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what we should look at or what you'd like us to look at. We're a oddball team of longtime comic artists that have been doing this for quite a while. So
speak for yourself.
We love it.
He's a writer.
Yeah, well, artists and writers. You're just an artist with words. That's all. Not just, but you're an artist with words. But anyway,
Good
folks,
save.
Say what? Good save.
Good save.
Anyway, folks, take care. Have a great week. We'll see you again soon, hopefully. Remember, we're archived all over the place, so listen to us when we want. We know the majority of our listeners are after the fact, and we appreciate you guys too very much. Don't be afraid to leave a comment down there about the show. Every bit of interaction that we get all goes to help our algorithms. And, we need... our algorithms need as much help as we can get.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Absolutely. Everybody, take care. See you soon. Any last words? Buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours.
Yeah, that's it.
Check out fundmycomic.com. The Shadow Kingdom, well worth your time. See, it's going to be a great product, folks. I can't recommend it enough. We'll see everybody soon.
That's it, done, yeah.
Rock
Other than
on.
that, take care, everybody.
If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place?
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
That was the wrong closing, but anyway, you get the idea.
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
And I just want to say, when my time comes, I want to be buried face down so that anyone who doesn't like me can kiss my ass.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.